Have you ever seen someone who is so over the top that you just can't tell if they're serious or not?
Yeah.
Like you can't tell if they're joking?
Yeah.
Like, are they putting us on or what's going on?
Right.
That's kind of where we are with Sam Hyde.
Yeah.
Is he a comic genius who's just pushing all the boundaries?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there something darker lurking underneath?
Yeah, it's a fascinating question, and I think a lot of people have struggled to kind of pinpoint where he's coming from.
That's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Sam Hyde.
Okay.
Grifter or gifted?
Yeah.
I think what strikes me about Hyde is just this deliberate use of ambiguity.
Yeah?
Like he blends offensive humor with social commentary.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to tell what his actual intention is.
I mean, that's what makes him such a fascinating and frustrating figure to analyze, right?
Totally.
You never quite know if he's serious, if he's joking, if he's trying to make a point, or just get a rise out of people.
When you go back and look at his early work, it definitely leaned into shock value.
Yeah.
He would say some pretty outrageous stuff.
Yeah.
For example, he linked homosexuality with promiscuity and disease.
Right.
He claimed that the gay community was trying to clean up its image through social engineering, so to speak.
Yeah, he definitely played into a lot of those stereotypes and those anxieties that exist.
He also, when it came to racial commentary, he didn't shy away from that either.
No.
One quote I have here, he said that the white race is the only one capable of saving humanity.
Yeah,
I mean, these are the kind of early bits that laid the foundation for his career.
Yeah, and it really established this pattern of him using very provocative language.
And this is where it gets really bizarre, right?
Yeah.
You have this whole phenomenon, this 4chan meme, where he's falsely labeled as the perpetrator of mass shootings.
Yeah, that's a really dark and twisted aspect of his online presence, right?
So weird.
What started as this kind of dark internet joke has taken on this really disturbing life of its own.
Totally. You started seeing his image pop up
Yeah.
in the manifestos of real-life shooters.
Right.
It's like, whoa, what is going on here?
It's blurring the lines between online trolling and real-world violence.
It's super unsettling, you know?
Yeah, and it makes you question the responsibility of a comedian who operates in that space.
Totally.
Even if intended as a joke, the consequences are very real.
It's almost like he's become a symbol, intentionally or not,
Right.
of this like dark underbelly of the internet.
Yeah.
This makes it even more difficult to figure out like what's real and what's persona.
Exactly. Is he shaping these narratives, or is he simply a product of them?
And then we get to $1 Million Extreme.
Yeah.
This was his sketch comedy group.
Yeah.
They landed a show on Adult Swim.
Right.
It was called $1 Million Extreme Presence World Peace. And this is where things get a little complex.
Yeah. I mean, this show became a breeding ground for controversy.
Totally.
It was absurdist humor, but also had this alt-right stuff in it.
Yeah, it was a constant barrage of just like shocking imagery.
Yeah.
Language.
Totally.
You had him in blackface, direct references to white supremacy.
It was very much pushing the envelope of what was considered acceptable, even on a network like Adult Swim.
Yeah, which is saying something, right?
Yeah.
Adult Swim is known for pushing the limits.
Yeah.
But even they were like, whoa, hold on a second.
Right.
It had a cult following, but it was canceled after one season. Hyde, of course, claimed it was because of his support for Donald Trump at the time.
Yeah, he's very good at playing the victim card.
Yeah, but critics argued that it was canceled because of the show's content.
Right, the racist and sexist undertones were too much for a lot of viewers.
Right, so again, it becomes this battle of interpretations.
Yeah.
Which makes it really hard to say, okay, this is definitively who he is.
It's interesting to think about the role of Adult Swim in this whole thing, right?
Totally.
Did they provide a platform for genuine artistic expression, or did they give a voice to hateful ideologies?
To give you a sense of what we're talking about here, let's look at a specific sketch.
Okay.
It's called Thank You, White People.
Uh-huh.
In this sketch, Hyde appears in blackface.
Yeah.
There's also a Hispanic man. He's thanking white people for a bunch of stuff.
Like what?
Like creating a society where people don't stew in the street.
Right.
Or giving out free money.
Yeah.
I mean, this sketch, it encapsulates the heart of the issue with his comedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's playing on those deeply offensive stereotypes.
That's
It's
true.
normalizing these harmful views about race.
Right. And even if it's framed as satire, it's hard to ignore that underlying message.
Yeah, and the potential impact it can have on people.
It's like intent versus impact.
Yeah.
Can you separate the artist from the art when the art is so provocative?
That's a question that's been debated for centuries, really.
Exactly.
But it takes on a new urgency with someone like Hyde.
And then it gets even more complex.
Okay.
This is when you look at what he does outside of $1 Million Extreme.
Sure.
For example, he donated $5,000 to the Legal Defense Fund of Andrew Anglin.
Right, the founder of the Daily Stormer.
Yeah, which is a neo-Nazi website.
Yeah.
This was during a lawsuit against Anglin for harassing a Jewish woman.
Mm-hmm.
When asked about this donation, he kind of downplayed it.
Yeah.
He said $5,000 is nothing to him.
Right.
But then he added this other statement that's really chilling.
What's that?
He said, "Don't worry so much about money. Worry about if people start deciding to kill reporters."
Whoa.
Like, what does that even mean?
It's hard to interpret that as anything other than a threat.
It really makes you wonder if this is revealing his true beliefs.
Yeah. Is this the mask slipping?
Is this who he really is?
It's a crucial question.
And it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
2019.
Yeah.
He releases a video called Beating Women.
Uh-huh.
The title's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
He expresses violently misogynistic views.
I mean, at what point does this go beyond edgy humor
Totally.
and become something much more dangerous?
There's this one quote in it, it's crazy.
What did he say?
He says, "If I ever get a chance to legally beat on women, it's going down, and it's going down quickly."
I mean, that's just blatant endorsement of violence against women.
It really is.
It's disturbing.
It's a stark reminder that words have power.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a platform like his.
Totally.
You can normalize these really harmful behaviors.
Yeah, he has a lot of young, impressionable fans who might take his words to heart.
And then we get to his latest chapter.
Okay.
Influencer boxing.
Right.
This is where the grifter or gifted question takes on a whole other dimension.
Yeah, because now he's not just online.
Right.
He's stepping into the real world.
He's trying to reach a wider audience.
And the stakes are higher because violence is literally part of the equation now.
He's had a couple fights now.
Yeah.
These events have attracted some pretty concerning figures.
Like who?
Like Nigel Farage.
Right, the British politician.
Yeah, known for his far-right political views.
Yeah.
Stephen Yaxley Lennon.
Another far-right figure. It's concerning.
These are not people you want associated with your brand.
Exactly.
Unless, of course, you're trying to cultivate a specific kind of audience.
Right, an audience that's receptive to those kinds of extremist ideologies.
It's really a dangerous mix.
It is, and it makes you wonder what Hyde's ultimate goal is.
Right. Is he just trying to cash in on this trend?
Yeah.
Or is there something more sinister going on?
Right. Is he trying to normalize these extremist views under the guise of entertainment?
It's a tough question to answer.
It is.
But it's one we need to ask.
Yeah, it's a fascinating tightrope that he walks.
Yeah.
On one hand, you have this incredibly disturbing content.
Yeah.
And on the other, you have this meta commentary.
Right.
Almost like he's winking at the audience, saying, like, look at how absurd this all is.
Totally.
And it gets even more complex when you consider how he's been targeted by that internet meme we talked about, constantly being falsely identified as the perpetrator of mass shootings.
Yeah.
I mean, that has to take a toll, right?
Psychologically, that's got to mess with you.
Absolutely. Imagine the psychological impact of that.
Yeah.
Being associated with such horrific acts of violence.
Right.
Even if it's a joke,
Yeah.
it can't help but seep into your psyche.
Yeah.
It likely creates a sense of paranoia,
Mm.
a constant awareness that your image is being used for these nefarious purposes.
Right.
And it's almost like he's caught in this feedback loop of his own creation.
Yeah.
He built his career on pushing boundaries and courting controversy. And now that same controversy is being used against him
Right.
in this really disturbing way.
Yeah, it's like he's become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
In a way, yeah.
It's wild.
And it makes you wonder if this experience has influenced his work.
Totally.
If it's further blurring the lines between his persona and his genuine beliefs.
Yeah.
Is he becoming the very monster that the internet is trying to paint him as?
So we've talked about his early work.
Yeah.
The 4chan meme, $1 Million Extreme.
Right.
His troubling statements and his associations with these extremist figures.
Yeah.
But there's another layer to this whole story that we need to unpack.
Okay.
His foray into influencer boxing.
Right.
This is where I think the grifter or gifted question really takes on a whole new dimension.
Absolutely.
Is this just another performance?
Yeah.
Another calculated move to shock and provoke?
Yeah.
Or is there a deeper motivation at play?
It's hard to say for sure.
On the surface, it might seem like he's simply capitalizing on a trend.
Yeah.
Using his notoriety to attract a wider audience, generate more revenue.
Right.
But the presence of these prominent far-right figures at these events like
Yeah.
Nigel Farage, Stephen Yaxley-Lennon.
Yeah.
That adds a layer of complexity that we can't ignore.
Exactly. It's not just about money or fame at this
Oh, no.
point.
Right.
It's about platforming a specific ideology.
Totally.
These events are attracting a certain type of audience,
Yeah.
and Hyde's presence there,
Yeah.
coupled with his controversial past,
Yeah.
it normalizes those extremist views,
Right.
and it's a dangerous mix.
Oh, totally.
It raises serious concerns about his intentions.
It's like he's creating a safe space for these ideologies to flourish,
Yeah,
where hateful rhetoric is disguised as entertainment.
right.
And that's a slippery slope,
It is.
especially in today's climate,
Yeah,
where misinformation and extremism are on the rise.
totally. And it speaks to his cunning and strategic thinking.
Oh, yeah.
He's using this platform to reach a demographic that's very susceptible to his brand of humor
Yeah.
and the underlying message that it carries.
Right. And the thing is,
Yeah,
they might not even realize that they're being manipulated.
exactly. They think they're just in on the joke,
Right.
but the joke might be on them.
It's like he's playing a long game,
Yeah.
building a following that aligns with his own beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
whatever those may be.
Right, and that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Totally.
Grifter or gifted?
I mean, is he simply a master manipulator,
Yeah,
exploiting current trends and ideologies for personal gain?
right.
Or is he a visionary of sorts?
Yeah.
Someone who's tapped into this deeper cultural current,
Mm-hmm.
for better or worse?
It's a tough one.
I don't know if we're going to have an answer for you today.
Yeah, I don't think there are any easy answers with Sam Hyde.
But I think it's important to keep asking these questions,
Absolutely.
to analyze his actions and statements
Yeah.
within this broader context,
Mhm.
and to be wary of anyone who profits
Yeah,
from blurring those lines
Yeah.
between entertainment and ideology.
because those lines are becoming increasingly blurred.
It's scary.
It is. And it's something we all need to be aware of.
Yeah.
Not just with Sam Hyde,
Right.
but with all forms of media that we consume.
I think it's crucial to remember
Yeah,
that laughter can be a powerful weapon.
absolutely.
And someone like Sam Hyde,
Mm-hmm.
with his charisma,
Yeah.
his knack for provocation,
Right.
he knows how to wield it effectively.
He's a master of it.
So whether he's a grifter,
Yeah.
a gifted comedian,
Right.
or some weird hybrid of the two,
Mm-hmm.
one thing's for certain.
What's that?
His impact on our culture is undeniable.
No doubt about it.
He's almost like holding up this mirror to society,
Yeah.
but it's distorting.
Right.
It reflects back all of our biases,
Our anxiety.
our anxieties.
Yeah.
And some people, unfortunately, they see their own beliefs reflected in that distortion.
Right.
And they find validation in his offensive humor.
And his outrageous statements.
Yeah, and that's what's so dangerous about it.
Yeah.
When you package hate and bigotry as entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes more palatable.
Right. It's more acceptable.
It creates this breeding ground for extremism.
Yeah. You're normalizing these harmful ideologies under the guise of irony and satire.
It makes you wonder if he's consciously contributing to this,
Yeah.
or if he's just a product of the times.
Right. Is he a symptom of this culture that we're in
Yeah.
that's increasingly polarized?
Drawn to extremes.
Yeah, drawn to extremes.
Perhaps it's a combination of both.
It probably is.
I mean, he's undeniably talented.
Yeah. He's a master manipulator.
A master manipulator of media,
Yeah.
exploiting our desire for outrage.
He knows how to push our buttons.
But he's also operating within this cultural landscape
Yeah.
that's primed for his brand of humor.
Right. Where attention equals currency.
And controversy generates clicks.
Yeah. It's all about the clicks.
And it's not just the content itself, it's the way that it spreads.
Right.
The way it's amplified and reinterpreted
By his followers.
by his followers.
Yeah.
His catchphrases become memes. His jokes are shared and twisted.
And taken out of context.
And his image takes on a life of its own.
It's like he's created a movement,
Yeah,
whether intentionally or not.
right.
And that movement has the potential to be incredibly dangerous,
Yeah.
especially when it attracts those individuals with extremist views
Right.
who see him as some kind of cultural icon.
It's like we're witnessing the birth of a new kind of cult figure.
Yeah.
One that thrives on ambiguity
And controversy.
and controversy.
Yeah, he feeds off of it.
And that's what's so hard to combat.
Yeah.
Because how do you argue with someone who claims it's all a joke?
Right. How do you hold someone accountable for the actions of their followers when they never explicitly endorse those actions?
It's a challenge we all face in this digital age,
Yeah.
where information spreads so rapidly and
Right.
context is lost.
Yeah, it's like playing a game of telephone.
We have to be more discerning consumers of content,
Yeah.
more aware of the motivations behind the things that we watch and share.
We need to be critical thinkers. Asking ourselves,
Who benefits from this?
Exactly.
What message is being conveyed?
Intentionally or not.
What are the consequences?
Yeah, what are the potential consequences of spreading this content?
Because in the end, we're all responsible for the culture we create.
Absolutely.
We have a choice to amplify voices that promote understanding and empathy, or to give platforms to those who thrive on division and hate.
And that choice ultimately will determine whether figures like Sam Hyde are remembered as visionary artists or dangerous manipulators.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Sam Hyde, we leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
In a world where charisma and controversy collide, it's up to each of us to discern the truth from the carefully crafted facade.
Drifter or gifted.
Drifter or gifted.
You decide.
You decide. But be cautious.
Yeah.
The answer might be more complex than you think.